Okay, this is Quadruple Stops, requested by 0*36, and I have a video on triple stops if you're curious, and those triple stops I play just in one stroke, and so I'm not breaking the chord. What I'm going to talk about today is how to break a chord on quadruple stops. So for example, let's take Bach Sonata No. 1, first movement, the G minor Adagio movement. So that very first opening chord, okay, so now you know what piece I'm talking about. So that opening chord, the way that I'm making it clean is, what I do is when I'm playing this chord, I make sure to start as close to the bottom of this frog part as possible on the bow hair. So I try to start. And if you're having trouble getting sound out of this, it's possible that you need to rehair your bow, because your bow has little tiny grippers on the bow hairs that you can't see that help to grip the string. And if you're not able to do that down there, it may be because your bow hair is getting old and you've played a lot on it, so that those little gripper things have worn off. So check that out. But the higher you can go on your bow, higher meaning this way, the better. Okay, now most of the arm weight that I'm applying to this chord is right here, just maybe this much bow. And then what I do is I start with the weight, and as I break the chord, meaning going from to, I'm not bringing that pressure or the arm weight through from the bottom to the top. So I'm releasing the pressure is basically what I'm trying to say here. So most of that emphasis happens on the bottom, and then immediately let go. So the way that I can tell that I'm doing it right is if there's a little bit of a swell in that first bottom part, and the swell kind of goes like this, and on the decline of that swell, the amplitude, which is this way, so that when that amplitude gets smaller, that's when I start to break the chord. So, and when you do it in the actual piece, use as little bow as you possibly can coming through that chord when you break it, coming from the bottom to the top. Make sure that bottom and the top both are using as little bow as you need to in order to keep a consistent sound. Okay, now that second chord doesn't have 4 notes to it, but I'm approaching it the same way with breaking the chord, where I'm giving the emphasis to the bottom 2 notes, and then letting that, as the amplitude gets smaller, letting it coast out into the string cross. Now when you cross the strings, I have a string crossing video, make sure that it's your elbow that's determining what string you're on. Because if you try to break it like this, try to use your wrist, you're going to get some kind of a jump in your sound, and plus it's never going to be the same, because your wrist, particularly when you're nervous, your wrist is one of the first things to go. You get a locked wrist somehow. And so if you're doing it relying just on your elbow, just your elbow is the one that's helping. Now your wrist can do a little bit just in the fine tuning of where that lands, but make sure it's your elbow that leads the motion. So, okay, and that's basically how I do quadruple chords, quadruple notes, where I do it in a chord where it's broken into 2 bottom notes and 2 top notes, and then I swell the bottom, and then using my elbow I drop down to the other 2 notes and then let it coast. So try that out.